That should be good. Ladies and... Damn it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Red. Welcome to the Space Monkey Mafia. I'm going to be posting some of my stuff here again on where you can find me. It's already up on the linked comments below if you're still on Twitch, so don't worry about it. This is just a repost for over on YouTube, and everything will also be in the description below. I'm very sorry that the first VOD of this is just a questionnaire, and the very last question does not get answered. So we'll have to find that out later. But yes, we're going to be hopping into the stream now. We're going to put these guys up to about 35 if I can get it. Oh.
To the Battle for Oghram preview online.
I forgot to... My bad. They're on 2. We want normal. And we're about to see who won. If you already know who won, please do not post anything down in the live Twitch chat, please.
Eddie, and I'm joined today by the wonderful Alex. Alex, thanks for joining us.
How are you doing today, Eddie?
I'm good. I'm excited to see some cool new miniatures.
Ooh, yes.
And to find out who has won the Battle for Oghram.
Indeed.
So, oh no, what happened? Oh, balls. What did I do?
Alex?
I did indeed.
So, just a heads up, no spoilers, please. Over here on the live thing. I was just gonna say again that GW has a tendency for rigging global events and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Space Marines actually won, or if it turns out to be a draw.
I built the entirety of the box. I played against my brother, actually.
Turn this up just a little bit.
Space Marines won.
So
what about yourself?
I didn't actually get a chance to play a game with the box. I have been playing quite a lot of Warhammer 40,000, but I didn't actually play my wife. Much to my shame.
But if you had played, who would you have wanted to win?
I mean, I am an impartial observer.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm gonna pause this real quick. So a lot of Space Marine players are saying that the Tyranids couldn't have won, just because there was no AP in that. But the last time I did check, and this is not a spoiler, the Tyranids did have a big lead, but before they took everything down, the Space Marines actually had a bigger lead over the Tyranids. So that's why a lot of people think that this might be rigged. That and past experiences. So
I couldn't choose a side. They're all my favorites. Yeah. But you played another game as well, didn't you?
Yes, and it didn't quite go.
What happened in your second game?
In the second game, my Space Marines didn't survive.
Oh,
Not
no.
for very long. Okay. But luckily, we used the first result. So the Space
That's right.
As far as the competition is concerned, the Space Marines won. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. I can see there's absolutely loads of you in the chat already, which is really cool. Over 10,000 of you, 12,000. If you played a game at home and you're in the chat, let us know how your game went. We know some people might have just not played a game and reported their thing. That's okay. Yeah. But we know plenty of people did play their game and sent the results in. So if you played a game, let us know how your game went.
Did people cheat, I wonder?
Lots of Tyranids.
A
lot of Tyranids in the chat there. There's a few Space Marines too. That's cool. Orks. There's an Orks in there as well. love your energy. It's great.
Orks just came out of nowhere.
You're tuning in from as well, guys. It's always great to do these previews and see thousands of Warhammer fans tune in from all over the world. That's really great. One of the nice things about this battle is that every Leviathan box in the whole world had a code in you could join in. So we did genuinely have entries from, I think, almost every continent in the world.
And you could write in too to see who won, but I don't think it would count.
Yeah, great to see that energy. Loads of people tuning in. It's a mix of Portugal, Texas, Nottingham, Germany. Awesome.
Interested to see if anybody's tuning in from the Tacoma Open.
Of course, yeah. It might be quite early in the morning in the Tacoma Open right now, but
yes.
they could be working up. They could have worked up. The other thing that's happening this weekend is the Tacoma Open in America, and after this show later on in the day,
that was already going.
Live stream games of Warhammer 40,000 as well. So if you this doesn't satiate your desire for live Warhammer 40,000 content, you want to watch some games as well, stick around for a few hours, and the Tacoma Open will be streaming as well. A few more people to do shout outs for.
Okay.
On camera today and helping us run the stream, we have Nick.
Ooh,
who's,
it's not Raphael
helping
this
make
time.
sure all the technical bits work properly. And we've got the wonderful Notley, who is moderating in the chat as well. So if you are in the
Cool
chat,
beans.
please be nice to Notley. And if you're not nice to him, then he'll kick you out. So you know, be on
Oh
your
no!
very cool. Okay. Right. But a few minutes to kill before we get to the results. Alex, what Warhammer 40,000?
What do you mean
hobby
few
have you
minutes
been
to
up to
kill?
recently?
Well, as we said, I've been building the Leviathan box, but as a Salamanders player who's been desperate for these flamethrower space marines, the Infernus squad, I've been converting them all to Salamanders.
Nice. What's the nature of the conversions?
Lots of fire. If anything's got a sword, the sword is on fire. If,
Of course.
I've got plenty of huge world heads. I know it's not lore accurate, but
So I reckon they've still got a few kicking around
So
in a vault somewhere.
those beaky helmets that they brought out
Yep.
for the Salamanders, they just absolutely fantastic on the Terminators.
Well, one of the nice things about the
I'm a big fan of the
Stern
beaky
Guard
helmets
Leviathan
unless
set is they do
it's-
have some kind of relic bits of
Yes.
armor, don't they? So they've got bits of iron armor.
So last time I did this, you could barely hear me because these guys were talking over me. But I'm not a big fan of the beaky helmets, unless it's Raven Guard. So
Shoulder pads and some Mark 7 helmets and things like that. It's a nice Salamander box actually, because you've got some melter kits in there as well, haven't you?
That's it.
You've got some flamethrowers. That's cool. Let us know as well, guys, if you've managed to paint your Leviathan setup.
I haven't even
we
been
have
able
seen
to get
some
to
very
mine yet.
industrious hobbyists who've already managed to kind of fully prime and paint.
Might do that
well
this
done to you
weekend.
if you have fully painted either the whole set or even half of that set at the moment. I managed to get hold of some of the Tyranid models a little bit early and painted up in my High Fleet Mantis colour scheme. So they're very kind of
Mantis.
like vivid greens and blues and reds.
Yeah.
It's a kind of an assault on the senses. So the assault phase starts at colour selection, I always think.
You also painted a Screamer Killer on its own, didn't you? In the
I did. I
the
paint
old school colours.
When I was a kid and looking in like the window of Games Workshop Liverpool, there was a Screamer Killer in the cabinet, and I always really wanted one. And because I was only 9, I couldn't afford it. But now I'm a grown up and I can buy my own things. So I bought one and I painted it up in the classic colour palette. So yeah, enjoyed it. He doesn't fit anything
Alrighty.
else in my collection. He doesn't fit in my army. He'd look very silly if I put him on the battlefield, but I now have him. He's in my cabinet at home, looking very nice.
I remember a friend of the family gave me a couple of Tyranids when I first started, and he was one of them. And these arms kept coming off because it was
Yep.
the old metal miniature, so heavy. And I regret at one point I traded him for Belisarius Call.
Core's pretty cool though.
Oh no, Call is
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, that's actually a net game in terms of arms there, which probably isn't true for most trades.
That is true.
But yeah, both very cool models. Very
Alrighty.
cool, yeah.
Indeed.
Awesome.
You want to
see
know
if
the
anyone else in
results?
chat there has managed to. Yeah, a few people letting us know they've
Mhm.
successfully completed their armies. That's cool. If you have finished painting your forces, either Tyranids or the Space Marine, do share it on social media. Hashtag Painting Warhammer or hashtag New 40k.
Yep.
It's always really nice to kind of just click on those hashtags and have a look through what everyone has been up to. Yeah, very cool. What's your next Warhammer 40,000 project? Do you think, Alex?
Ooh, once I finish them, I have some Orcs actually. It's
Nice.
the first time.
Have you guys picked up this box set or have any hobby stuff to be doing? Let me know.
I've painted any Orcs in about 20 years.
Missing out.
And
You're missing out.
I know. It's your love for them actually that inspired
Oh,
me.
that's nice.
So I've grabbed the Orc kill team.
Solid.
Maybe about 50% done. There was an awful lot of stuff on my list that
Have
I
you
wanted
painted the
to-
Squig yet?
No.
So the
It's-
Squig and the Grots are not only just the best models ever, but also like game winning, genuinely awesome. So that Grot has almost without fail every single game nets me about 3 or 4 points, which is about half the points I score. But you know that never mind. That's not important. The important thing is that he contributes.
He's key.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
Absolutely.
What about
Grot for
yourself?
the win.
So I've got I've been painting some Gene Stealer cults
Mhm.
recently. So I've been expanding the army a little bit because they're really fun to play with in the new edition. So I've already got quite a big army of those. I'm adding some things in. So I've got a Ridge Runner and some new characters. And then after that,
They're purposely dilly-dallying. Oh, come on, stop fuddy-duddying around. Stop procrastinating. Let's get to the results. Who won?
I've got a big Wild Rider army for Eldar. So I'm going to have everything on jetpacks.
Wild Rider.
All the kind of
Vroom.
glorious Samhan red
Very
flying
good.
around. Because again, basically all of my projects that I do are things that I wanted to do when I was a kid and weren't able to do. So I remember, I think it was the 3rd edition Warhammer 40,000 rulebook had like a really glorious
Yes.
spread of the Wild Riders, kind of filling a whole page across an
Yep.
ice battlefield, and it just looked awesome. And you also had the Craftworld expansion for Codex Eldar
Yes.
that had
I might skip this
the
because
Flameheart character.
I want to know.
weird.
I
just
wanna
like a
know.
conversion thing. So I'm gonna see if I can fit him in as well.
That's very cool.
But yeah, it's probably not the best way to run an Eldar army, but I think I'll do alright. Yeah, right. And I spend my time on those and make them look real pretty.
That's it. At the end of
Another
the day,
time.
it's thematic.
I've got a nice big Ork army that I'm happy to play with, and I've got a Gene Stealer army, and they're having a good time
Eddie, Alex, I'm getting impatient. Please, just get to the results soon.
at the moment. So I don't need to rush the army. Take my time, make them good.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right. How are we doing for time? Oh, we are closing in. I think we got about 1 minute left before we can
1 minute.
get to our first reveal video. If you are watching in the chat, guys, do let us know what Warhammer 40,000 projects you're up to as well. If anything catches your eye, Alex, you want to shout out any particularly cool projects that we'll do. Lots of people. Yeah, lots of people liking.
Is somebody asking which cult have you gone for?
So I started
God.
painting my Gene Stealers when Deathwatch Overkill came out. So at that point, none of the cults had been established. So I sort of made my own up to fit with the Tyranid army.
I'm sorry for anybody who wants to see this, but you can see this without having a Twitch account. Just go over to Twitch, look up Warhammer, then click on their channel, and then look for the Battle of Oghram. I'm sorry, I really want to go. I want to know the results.
A subsidiary of High Fleet Mantis, which is my Tyranid IP. Very cool. So yeah, I made them up because there wasn't any IP in the site. But there's loads of cool stuff now. And if I was doing it again, I'd probably do Bladed Cog because I really like the idea of having kind of uprising on a Mechanicus battlefield and mixing lots of bionic stuff in. But that didn't exist when I started, so I didn't think of it. So if I do it from scratch, that's what I do. But I didn't, so I haven't.
There's a lot of people that seem to have started Tyranids.
Because I think they're awesome.
Well, to be fair, they come in that big box.
Yeah, so as I say, I am an part observer. Space Marines equally cool. They're both great. Right. Okay. We can. I think. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, guys. We can now cut to our first video, which will.
Alright, so for this, I'm trying not to click on anything. I'm not looking at the spoilers. I'm sorry. We're going to go back to normal here, and then we are going to have to lower.
We'll announce the winner of the battle for Oghram. So hold on to your seats, guys. We're going to roll film.
Alright, we got to kind of lower this as much as I can. Alrighty. Oh no! Oh no. No!
Yet, the Imperial defenders stood firm. For every tide of Tyranids that overran artillery emplacements or boiled through breaches in Imperial fortifications, another was crushed beneath the treads of guns of massive tank formations.
Sounds like
Straight to ruin by relentless wings of gunships, or cut to pieces by coordinated Space Marine strikes.
Sounds like Space Marines 1.
The Great Devourer is not so easily denied. Like a wounded beast,
Oh.
the Tyranid swarms reacted as one and lashed out with ferocious force. In the planet's last hours, what vital relics and personnel could be salvaged were extracted from Oghram at great cost to rearguard troops and escorting void ships. They left behind a world that seethed with Tyranids in their billions.
Oh, a hive mind is victorious.
Was doomed. With its fall, the entire Formidire system, including the vital anchor world of Sanctum, was placed in greater peril than ever before. Reinforcements are coming, and there is a whole galaxy to fight for.
Oh. I was not expecting Tyranids to win.
So there we go. The results of the battle for
Oh my
Oghram are
God.
in. It is a Tyranid victory. So
Tyranids!
congratulations for all of you who were rooting for the Tyranids and who contributed.
Damn them
played your
boys.
games, sent in your results. Thanks so much for all of you who joined in. Really cool to be able to be part of this kind of cool moment. And then you can see there we've got some kind of lore as well that kind of establishes that planet, which is in your Warhammer 40,000 rulebook, by the way. I can't remember the exact page number, but you can go in there with your purple pen and scribble that out now because it's been consumed. So a few bits of details for you guys who are tuning in. A Tyranid victory, of course. We had over
Yay!
44,000 results
Holy hell.
registered, which is really cool. Early on in the campaign, it was very, very, very close, like incredibly close. The lead changed several times in the first week, and at several points there was like 1 or 2 votes in it, and it was. We had thousands of entries, and it stayed within about 10 votes of each other for ages and ages, and kept like swapping. the Space Marines edged ahead at the end of the first week, and I think at that point we put an update out into the world and said this is the results as it stand. Space Marines ever so slightly ahead, and at that point that seemed to galvanise the Tyranid players and fan base perhaps, and then we started to see the results swing in slightly the other direction. And once that snowball started, it didn't really stop, and the Tyranids came out on top. So final result: 53% to the Tyranids, 47% to the Space Marines. So there you go, guys. There you go.
That's it, awfully close. I remember asking for an update a little while ago, and you said that it was literally, I think it was 18 games in it, and given the thousands and thousands of games. Has any of our campaigns ever been that close?
I think this is probably the closest one we've had, certainly early on. What quite often happens is that after about one day, it's very apparent which way the wind is blowing.
I think this is the first time that they actually didn't rig the system, so...
Right, so we were like, oh, it makes our lives much easier as well because we get to plan this event really far out and we know all the things that are going to happen. But you really kept us guessing right up until the last results were coming in. So yeah, very, very close, very tense, and really cool. But thanks ever so much for tuning in, guys. What that means is two things. The first of them is that some of the people who entered will actually win some prizes, which is cool. So those people have been reached out to already. So keep an eye out on your inbox for that. We have 5 winners basically who get to win some cool stuff for entering, which is cool. But what most people have tuned in for today is to have a look at the new miniatures for the winning faction. So we can now take a look at some of the new Tyranids. We have a few videos to run through, quite a few new things on the way for Tyranids. So without further ado, let's have a look at the first